Seems that it wasn't only the trafficking of young girls, but there are code words. There's a lot of talk of beef jerky. There's a restaurant.
Beef jerky, the cannibal restaurant, human consumption. These are not metaphors. These are not jokes. These are the exact words Lauren Boebert says she saw in the unredacted Epstein Files. And she is not the only one. 3 separate congressional staffers from 2 different parties have now reviewed sections of these documents. None of them are laughing. None of them are dismissing it as a theory. They are refusing to comment. That is louder than anything they could say. Here is what we actually know right now. Not what we suspect, not what we fear. What has been verified by people who have held the paper in their hands. Jeffrey Epstein did not just traffic minors. He trafficked them to people who wanted to hurt them. Permanently. The word torture appears repeatedly in these unredacted communications. Not rough sex. Not BDSM. Torture.
More emails about torture, and these coded conversations still have a very clear topic.
That is a legal term with a specific definition. It means causing severe physical or mental pain. It means the intent was not gratification. The intent was destruction. And the victims were not just teenagers. The emails reference children as young as 10 and 11 years old. Read that again. 10, 11. This is not a sex scandal. This is a homicide investigation that was never opened. Boebert used the phrase, human consumption. She did not stumble over it. She did not clarify it. She let it hang in the air like a noose. Now, I am not going to sit here and tell you I have proof Jeffrey Epstein ate human flesh. I do not have that proof. Neither do you. Neither does she. But I am going to tell you why so many people believe it. Because the code words are not clever. They are lazy. Beef jerky is preserved meat. It is shelf-stable. It ships easily. It does not spoil. Why would a billionaire with private chefs and fresh seafood imported daily need to talk about beef jerky in professional emails? He would not. Unless he was not talking about beef. There is a restaurant in New York called The Cannibal. It serves game meat. It does not serve human meat. That is not the allegation. The allegation is that the owner of that restaurant appears in these documents. His name is listed. His establishment is referenced. And in the context of emails about jerky and torture and children, the proximity is not coincidental. This is not a conspiracy. This is a word association test, and the results are damning. Now let me address the elephant in the room. The elephant with a passport and a foreign intelligence service. Boebert said the Mossad. She said Israel. She said Jeffrey Epstein was an asset. I remember when I first heard this theory. I dismissed it. It felt like a bridge too far. It felt like anti-Semitic dog whistles dressed up as journalism. Then I read the testimonies of the intelligence community whistleblowers. Former Mossad agents have written books about the use of honey traps to recruit Western officials. This is not a secret. It is taught in tradecraft schools. It is documented in declassified CIA manuals. You compromise a target sexually, you photograph them, you own them for life. The only difference here is the age of the bait, and that is the part the establishment cannot forgive. If Epstein was just a pervert, he is an anomaly. If Epstein was just a pimp, he is a criminal. But if Epstein was a state-sponsored operator using American children as intelligence-gathering ammunition, that is an act of war disguised as a party. This is why the files remain redacted. This is why the grand jury transcripts remain sealed. This is why the death certificates of Epstein's associates remain incomplete. Because the truth is not salacious. The truth is diplomatic suicide. If the United States government formally acknowledges that a foreign ally ran a blackmail operation on American soil using minors, what is the response? Sanctions? Expulsion of diplomats? Arrest warrants? None of that happened. Instead, Epstein was given a non-prosecution agreement in Florida. Instead, Maxwell was prosecuted for sex crimes but never for espionage. Instead, the client list was burned. You do not burn evidence to protect celebrities. You burn evidence to protect treaties. So where does that leave us? It leaves us with a congresswoman from Colorado standing in front of a camera saying words she is not supposed to say. It leaves us with redacted documents that black out the names of the people who paid for access, and the agencies that facilitated it. It leaves us with beef jerky and the cannibal and 10 years old, floating in the public consciousness with no context, no investigation, and no accountability. This is not journalism. This is archaeology. We are digging through the ruins of a collapsed investigation, trying to piece together what happened. Boebert handed us a shovel. She pointed at a spot in the dirt. She said, "Dig here." Now we have to decide if we want to know what is buried. Because here is the hardest truth of all. The system is not protecting you from misinformation. The system is protecting itself from prosecution. Every redaction is a shield. Every sealed transcript is a get-out-of-jail-free card. Every dead witness is a closed case. Jeffrey Epstein died in a federal detention center surrounded by cameras that malfunctioned and guards who fell asleep. If you still believe that was suicide, I have a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. But more importantly, if you still believe this story is just about sex, you are not paying attention. Sex is the weapon. Power is the prize. And the files Lauren Boebert read suggest the trophy case is a lot fuller than we ever imagined.